right, here we go. It's cold and snowy where I live, Colorado. Haven't been out in a little bit. I posted a video on the new Creighton 8th scale EXB ready to run. Haven't been able to take that out, and it's looking like it's going to be a few weeks. So I thought, what better time to go through some of my my vehicles and kind of take a look, see what's broken, especially like the bigger. This is the 8th scale Outcast. You know, you tend to fix what you know is broken, but especially these larger ones tend to have things that might be broken and it's still running and you don't even notice. Like I just noticed taking the lid off. I got a pin loose, so I'll have to look and see if we got the nut there. A lot of times, this one doesn't have any. I know my Creighton does, but like these bolts that hold the bulkheads in break off. I actually went ahead and ordered several. You can go to like Jenny's and just get the teardown, but like these, the gearboxes or the bulkheads for these 8th scale Armas, you know, they're like 30 bucks if you buy it from a hobby shop, but for 20 bucks you get 2 of them from like Jenny's. Jenny's was sold out, so I bought this from eBay. I think Loomy Dave was the eBay seller, but same type of thing. You can get a lot of that. I got a bunch of extra parts, so I think I'm just gonna do like a teardown, kind of see how everything's looking. I might change the motor out on this. This one actually, I desoldered a motor connection anyway. So I'll kind of bring you along, see if anything interesting pops up along the way. All right, spent, I don't know, 40-45 minutes, completely tore everything down. I don't think I've done like a full teardown, check things out. Probably, I don't know, maybe since I bought it. You can see I have the M2C chassis and some other M2C bits, but completely tore everything out. I noticed a few things on my fan need to be fixed, some of the wiring. I'm going to go through each front and rear clip and just completely take it down, as well as the center. I'll change out the diff oils and whatnot. So we'll see how it goes. Didn't take too long. I'll probably do this over the next few nights, maybe take one chunk. I'll clean everything up and bring you back if anything interesting comes up. Otherwise, might be a quick one with when everything's back together. The gears look great. I've had this for 2.5 years, I think, for sure 2 years, and pretty good shape. I pretty much only replaced the arms is the most thing, but we'll check things out and take you along and check in as makes sense. One thing to note when I do like a full disassembly like this, I just kind of take everything out and then I put the bolts back where I took them out from so I can keep things straight. Then you got it in kind of modular sections, and you can kind of, I'll clear my bench off and work different sections at a time. Other thing I mentioned, I know on my Creighton, my bulkheads kind of like strip out or screws break off that attach to the chassis. I did get some longer bolts, so I think I can get 20 millimeter bolts towards the center, and then 18 at the front and back side. 16 is what the stock is, 16 or 15. So a little bit longer, and that's not drilling anything out or anything. That's just the holes. We'll accept that. So we'll see if that makes a difference in the long run. But the other thing, I haven't checked bearings at all on this. So I'm gonna go through, check all the bearings, clean it up, lube stuff up, and we should be as good as new. All right, quick check-in. It's the next day. I spent, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes after I checked in after the full disassembly, and I cleaned up the chassis and all like the plastic parts that came off. Just cleaned them off real nice. I used simple green, and then with these I treated with a little WD-40, kind of brings it back. I know it can add some flex. Some debate on if that's good or not. So I'm gonna go in. I kind of cleaned up the ESC and the radio box. I'll get that put back together. I did notice my rear outdrives or the cups back there are pretty beat up, so I got some of those on order. And I had one front hinge pin that came out that was bent pretty good. I just bent it back. I didn't have a spare, so I think I'll probably take an hour tonight and go through front end, center gearbox, and kind of see if there's anything else. But so far looking good. I've done a full walkthrough when it's all said and done, and should be good to go whenever the weather gets nice. So, which doesn't look like anytime soon. So, you might see a couple more of these tear down, clean up, walkthrough, and repair videos. I'll check in a bit. All right, back again. It's been a couple days. Finally got the replacement drive cups. I should have known. These were, I don't know, $6-7 cheaper than the Arma ones. So it's a generic brand. They had good ratings. We'll see if they last, but I needed a few because I've got this Outcast and then a Creighton I'm going to go through. All that's left is going through the back clip. You can see here I've gone through pretty much taken everything apart, cleaned it up, completely changed out all the diffs. I actually let the internals sit in some lacquer thinner for overnight to kind of clean off, and have redone all the fluids, drained the shocks, cleaned them up, put new fluid in. So I think one more probably tonight, and I'll let the diff internals kind of marinate so I can clean them up tomorrow. But it's Thursday. I started on Saturday. I'll probably be done tomorrow night. Hour to 2 hours a night. So I'm guessing I have, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 hours when all's said and done to completely tear down, rebuild. Haven't found any bad bearings yet. Again, I gotta go through this, but all the other bearings have been good other than the one inside the servo, and it's looking pretty good. It'll be almost like a new vehicle when it's done. Spent some time redoing the fans. They were pretty banged up, had to replace a couple, do some wiring. Yeah, pretty happy with it. And again, it's cold and snowy here, so this kind of keeps me in the hobby while I can't drive. We'll check in a bit. All right, we're on the home stretch here. I did find on the rear a bent shock shaft. Don't know if you can see that. I happen to have one of those sitting around, so I'll get that replaced. I've replaced the sway bars, both front and back were pretty beat up. I have had some of those, so replacing that. Got my diff. Have sat overnight, so I should be able. I just got to clean up the arms and stuff. I'll check the hinge pins. I did have one hinge pin in the front to replace, so a few little things here or there, but overall pretty surprised for a couple years of bashing where we're at. I think this will be last check-in. I'll come back with everything together and show you what we look like. All right, finally done. Went through, basically tore everything apart, cleaned it up, checked everything out, redid all the fluids, so new shock oil in all the shocks, completely cleaned out all the diffs, replaced oil. I went back a bit lighter than I had before. I had thickened it up right out of the box, so we'll see if I like that better. What I ended up having to change out was the rear gearbox. Normally these bottom ones strip out, but in this case these back ones that hold the D block on came out and weren't staying tight. Replaced the rear outdrives. The hub bearings were pretty rough. I'll probably recondition them as emergency ones. 2 of the 4 hinge pins were pretty bent up. Not horrible, but I had some new ones, so replaced them. Again, I might be able to straighten these and have emergency. Had a bent shock shaft, and then in the CVDs, a couple of the CVDs I rebuilt. They were pretty loose, so overall, I guess, I don't know, 8 to 10 hours of work. Cleaned up pretty much, you know, some beat up plastics and everything, but almost like new. So I'll probably do a shorter video. I got a Kraton 8S. I'm going to go through, do the same thing, and probably do a shorter video, but I'll try to post this one for anyone interested. Thanks.